Lil Durk, you got Polo G, then you have Cole Bennett. Like, Chicago is up.
If you would have put that on wax,
I still fully believe that.
Zachary is on crack.
You're not listening to the music.
And I'm not the only one who feels this way.
And I fully get it. I get it.
That would be the thing that I think Polo missed out on the most.
I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on the road. About to get all this dough. Me and no fuck niggas know. I swear to God we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell my dogs that we on road for greatness. They paper getters, they want money.
Welcome to The Real Low Show. If you clicked on this video, we are going to analyze Polo G's brand new project, Hood Poet. And this was kind of a long time coming. You know, obviously, if you follow Polo G, I've always been a fan of Polo G. He's honestly one of the most successful artists to date. He's the first artist ever to have his first 3 projects go certified platinum twice, which is kind of hard to think about in this day and age, but he has done it again. I don't know if this is his best project yet. I got to continue to listen to it, but honestly, Polo G is one of the best artists out. But what I was saying a long time coming is this album was supposed to drop like 6 months ago. He got arrested for an unregistered firearm or barrel. I can't remember what it was. So they had to push back. And he obviously had a couple songs that he released well before. But Joshua, after you listen to the project, what's your 2 cents about it? I'm going to give my 2 cents really quick. I think it was a great project. I don't think it's his best one, but a very good quality project. I said it might be album of the year. I don't know if it'll be album of the year, but give your 2 cents.
Thought it was a good album. I don't think it's going to be album of the year. I don't think it's Polo G's best album he ever put out. I would say GOAT is by far Polo G's best project he ever put out.
Yeah, that's
personally,
for sure.
I think this album was very good. I don't think it's going to get as much sales as his past albums. And from what you alluded to earlier, it's from him not dropping this album. He's been working on this album since 2021. It's a 3-year project. And I think that's where you lose it a little bit for me. If he had dropped this a year after GOAT, I'd be like, all right, we're cooking now. We're cooking. I think that Polo G sat on his album. I think a lot of these young artists do that. They have one good project, they have a little bit of success, and they're like, I'm going to step away from the game. I'm going to go focus on myself. And obviously, like, Polo G had a drug problem. He had to figure out his own shit. And I
almost died from fentanyl. So.
And I respect that he had to go on that journey. And a lot of this album, he said, was sober, which, again, if it started in 2021, he might have scrapped the album a few times to get it to this point. But I did like it. I thought there were some wavy parts. There are times where I'm like, it's not. There are times where it's like underwhelming, where I feel like I waited 3 years for this project. I want to be fucking slapped in the face with it. And that's why I don't like when artists wait so long, because the anticipation grows, the expectation grows. And then even if you deliver a good album like this, they said, again, it's too early to say because it's not a full week yet, but they're projecting this album to do around 25,000 first week.
It goes into the narrative of you have to drop to remain relevant. He doesn't do social media content. He doesn't put anything out. The only thing he's ever in the news for is literally him getting arrested.
Yeah,
and that doesn't do anything. Like, if you got arrested, then drop the project, then maybe like that might work. The problem is his relevance, and I'll be the first one. Midwest from Chicago. I love Polo G. I'm always going to support him. Chicago is up. Lil Durk. You got Polo G. Then you have Cole Bennett. Like, Chicago is up. But I just think he waited too long to drop it. Like, 6 months ago when he dropped it, I was really excited. Then when he dropped it, I was like, oh, he's dropping this Friday.
And Polo G does have this self-awareness, because in his interview with Complex, he literally said, the music game is a what have you done for me lately game, which is true, right? Same with social media, same with everything. And that's why Drake is so on top, because it's effortless for him and he can just spit it out. Polo G, all these young artists, they have to drop yearly. You have to drop a project a year. You have to stay relevant, because like I said, I don't even think people knew this album was dropping. Like, I didn't even hear about it till like the day of. And I fuck with Polo G. I follow him on social media. I barely have seen any rollout for Polo. That's why I think it underwhelmed sold. I don't want to talk about the sales and stuff and the underwhelming part. I want to get to the parts I do like.
The first week sales are just like the anticipation of the project.
For sure.
That doesn't mean if it's good or bad.
No, because you could win a Grammy off an album that sells 25,000 first week.
Yeah.
You could. Like, that's not what I'm saying. And again, I do like the project. There's probably 5 songs on here that I'm like, I really, really fuck with these songs. Some of the other ones, maybe I haven't listened to them enough. And I think that's one thing I have to say.
What are your favorite 3 right now?
Favorite 3 right now off
I have
the top.
mine for sure.
I really like the Thorns.
Yeah.
I really like Barely Holding On.
That was launched about 3 months ago.
Yeah, I know. But I still think that one was snippeted for like a year and a half.
A long time.
Yeah. And then I really like this Hunxho. I'm sorry.
Damn, we might have the same 3.
No Back. No, that's G Herbo. Where's the Hunxho one?
No, Hunxho's No Turning Back.
Oh, No Turning Back. Yeah. So
I would say I would actually switch out the No Turning Back for the last song, which is From the Heart.
Yeah.
I felt like he kind of changed up the pace there, really set the tone, really got in like the Polo G bag, but Barely Holding On. And actually, man,
I really like the reason why
I like Thorns, but the Same Me with Friday, bro.
Friday
I'm telling you, Friday might be the most underrated artist in the music game right now. And I know we kind of throw around like the great and whatever. I'm talking the most underrated artist in the game right now is Friday.
Yeah, he's listen. I will say I'll be the first one to say this. Polo G's features I thought killed it. The Kid Leroy feature on this, I was like, damn, like I want more Leroy. I like when the Kid Leroy does this. He's obviously on his own journey. I'm going to say the Kid Leroy is going to end up more like The Weeknd when it's all said and done. It's going to be more of that like...
I don't think that's a wild take, though.
No, I don't think so either because it's like he is going to be mainstream. He's going to sell it. It's like they're telling him to not rap about guns or drugs. He's like, hey, let's rap about getting your heart broken because that's going to sell a lot fucking more than anything else. So I do appreciate this one. Obviously, the Dirk feature, I love that. Chicago. I thought the album from top to bottom, again, we always talk about the intro, the outro. The intro on this and the outro on this, both good.
Yeah.
And I think that's how you know it's a good album. I thought, now this is 3 years in the making, so I shouldn't hate on the album being too long, but I felt like it was it drug on a little too much for me.
I disagree. I just think when an artist of Polo G, he's going to drop 15 to 18 songs. What would it end up being? 18 exactly? I think he's earned that right.
I guess
he's earned that right. I would say my one critique of the project, and we talk about this a lot, and I get it. Artists want the streams. They want the awards from a song. Distraction was dropped like 3 years ago.
Listen.
And that still made its way on the project, and I fully get it. I get it. But at the same time, from like someone who really likes an artist and pays attention, that shit needs to stop.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be allowed.
That's label shit. And to me, though, here's my thing. It's great that he dropped 18 songs, and I really love that. My thing is, why didn't he just drop 12 songs a year? And he would have had fucking 36 songs out that were all hits instead of fucking 18. And I think that's where the label mindset is. Like, I don't know if it was the label that was holding him back or if he felt like he needed to hold back or maybe he was like, GOAT was so good, I have to surpass. I don't know what it is, right? But I think consistency is the name of the game here. Polo G's huge. But Polo G could not sell out a tour right now. I don't think Polo G could sell out a tour.
I think it's incredibly hard to sell out a tour.
100, but that's my point. So if you can't sell out a tour, you need to be dropping fucking music.
Yeah, and honestly, it's maybe a bad person to group it to, but Roddy Ricch, does Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial, and from a public's perspective, hasn't really found it yet. I'm a fan of Roddy Ricch. I like the music he's put out.
I'm glad that Zachary said this because this motherfucker said that Roddy Ricch is going to take the torch from Drake. If he would have put that on wax,
I still fully believe that.
Dude,
I still fully believe that.
Zachary is on crack.
I still fully believe
this guy is smoking crack.
This is why he will never take it from Drake. Fully from a music perspective, he can
never.
Listen, I will fight against anybody. Roddy Ricch on his A game is better than just about anybody but Drake.
Roddy Ricch is in top 20 right now. He's not. Roddy Ricch is not top 20 right now.
Stop.
He has not dropped a good album.
He has a generational album. He's dropped a generational album.
Yes, that is one good album, but that doesn't make you the next Drake.
You're not listening to the music. Live Life Fast, Feed the Streets 3 are all good.
Feed the Streets 1 and 2. Feed the Streets 1 and 2 are great albums. After that, it was underwhelming.
Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial was underwhelming. That one album of the year.
I'm sorry. That was the other one I was going to add. Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. Those three are great.
You're not
albums.
listening to the music.
Yes, I am.
You're not listening to the music.
It's just not as good when you hit that hard, and then it's underwhelming from there. That's how I feel. And I'm not the only one who feels this way.
I'm not the only one who feels this way. From a public narrative, They are with you. But what I'm trying to say, Roddy Ricch on his A game from a music perspective can absolutely no one's ever going to pass Drake. Can get close to Drake, but why he'll never be Drake, he doesn't talk to fucking cameras. He doesn't do interviews. You have to be in the public perception to be relevant. The reason Drake is so great is he can go on an interview. He can do a vlog. He can do a podcast. He can do the fucking Bobby Altoff interview and be relatable. Polo G doesn't do that. Roddy Ricch doesn't do that. Rod Wave, who is literally my fucking favorite artist, doesn't do that. That's why they are capping themselves. The biggest artist in the world has to be able to get in front of a camera and talk to the fucking camera and be able to relate to the other person on the other side.
You know, Roddy Ricch's NBA comparison is Joel Embiid. That's who it is. It's like you have all the hype, you have all the intangibles, you just can't fucking do anything.
Well, Roddy Ricch is like 5'2", so I don't know if that's a great comparison.
Well, it doesn't. I'm not talking about height. I'm talking about the expectations. Like everyone
height and height.
Exactly.
Tomato.
But I'm saying like you're like he has all the intangibles. Everything's there. He's got the hits, but he just can't put it together on a consistent basis. I'm not disagreeing with you. Roddy Ricch can be great. I'm not even questioning that 1%. I'm saying that it's inconsistent. In the name of the game of music, when you're making thousands of songs, consistency is the name of the fucking game, and it's not there. I will say this about Polo G, though, to get back on the Polo G train.
He's consistent.
He's very consistent.
I agree.
And I think it's almost to a fault because we talk about it all the time. When you hit the home runs or you strike out, it's almost better to hit the home runs and strike out than just be the guy who's like, I'm just going to always make that nice hit.
Yeah, I've always kind of said that about, and now talk about public perception not being relative. Nav, who obviously you love, I love, super consistent.
Very
doesn't
consistent.
really put out bad music. Doesn't really make like the hit, but never puts out bad music. And we've talked about it before. That's almost a bad thing in a lot of ways. Like, it's almost better to get the certified platinum and no one talk about your music than be like, oh, it's cool.
Not to give
I'll play it in the car.
Not to give another sports reference, but it's like the Matthew Stafford effect, right? You're just always good, so people are like,
Matthew
he's
Stafford's
good.
the GOAT. So,
but
Matthew
you
Stafford's
are
like
a
Drake
Detroit guy.
But Matthew Stafford is like the Drake of the NFL.
No, because he doesn't get the recognition, and that's where it
he
is.
He does
like,
get the recognition.
But
he's the people's champ.
Inside the NFL, like
that's all that matters.
Matthew Stafford is your favorite player's favorite player. That is what I'm saying. Whereas it's in the same realm, right? Nav has great production. He does good shit, but sometimes when you're just consistent, you kind of get lost in that sauce where it's like, yeah, you'll have a number one, you'll do really good, but it's not like it's the longevity of it. You know, Drake right now has 6 albums on the top 200 charts. 6 albums. No one else has 1. You know what I mean? So it's like that's the difference. And obviously Drake's the pinnacle of it. But I'm saying is like, where's the timeless music of it? You know,
I do want to say this as we kind of stay in the Polo G realm of things but not talk about Polo G. Someone who's really kind of failed to take that relevance, especially with the Drake sign off, is Hunxho. He has not dropped a project. He's dropped some singles. He's dropped some snippets. He's dropped some like shit on the SoundCloud. He's dropped like a YouTube music video. The fact that he has not dropped a project, and someone who's like dying for him to drop a project, he's kind of missed the boat. And
bro,
this
you're gatekeeping.
And I don't know if it's a label thing because you don't know what's actually going behind closed doors, right? When you work for a label, they control everything.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, they pay you to control you. But the fact is the label's fucking up at that point because the relevance of the Drake sign-off and him not dropping 6, 8, 10, 12 songs on the back of that is a fucking huge mess.
But we've interviewed record executives before, and they've straight up told us that the label will never hold you from dropping music. The label normally wants you to fucking drop music. He told us that. Rob.
I remember Rob Jua, shout out. Great dude. But there's no way they're not holding it back a little bit. Because, like, say they sign you to 5 to 6 songs, or not 5 to 6 albums. Like, why wouldn't you want that to be held as long as possible?
But
because you could get an artist like Drake, or say you sign fucking A Boogie, they could drop fucking 6 projects in 2 years and they're out of the deal.
But I disagree because here's my thing. You drop projects, right? And you have you start building a catalog. A guy like Drake goes, I like this guy. I want to give him a song. And then he gets a Drake feature and Drake's like, well, I don't want to put it on my shit. You drop it. So then he drops the song. And then you go to his page and he's got 3 albums. Now you can start streaming the albums. When you get a guy like Hunxho who got the Drake sign off, got all these people like on this Polo G album, I'm like, damn, hot verse. I'm like, I go click on his page, he's got nothing. So now me as a fan, it's in one ear, out the other ear, and it's gone. You have to grab it. People's attention is too short. There's too many options out here. You have to capitalize on that moment. And that's why record labels in today's age, maybe at one point they did do that. They were gatekeeping. But in today's age, more is better. More is better. It's true because like Drake does, he only really has like 20 hits. I know it's a lot, but like he only really has like 20 hits that are like massive. The rest just do pretty well. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all about just hitting that one time, two times. We see it in the video world.
Yeah, music is just like social media content.
One video pulls your whole page. Literally, shoot will double, triple your shit overnight. One video. Music is the same way. One song will carry an artist. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to take at bats. That would be the thing that I think Polo missed out on the most.
So honestly, what I'm taking from this is Polo needs to drop another project before the end of the year. It doesn't have to be a huge. I think that's what it is, and again, that's where I think the record labels are. Like a record label wants their artist to drop 18 songs because it's all about streams, right? If you get everybody on the earth to listen to your album one time, you want the album to be 20 songs, not 6 songs, and I can understand that. But if you're just like, hey, I'm going to drop a 6-pack, I'm going to drop a 6-pack, I'm going to drop a 10 song here, like that is better than just being like, I'm going to gatekeep. Because he dropped 18 songs, he probably made 500 to 1,000 songs. I would say what's missed out the most in music is the 3-pack and 6-pack songs.
Bro, Drake dropped a 3-pack of singles. That is the perfect amount. It's digestible. We can all fucking love it. And then we can keep it. And we can move on. Drake ain't going to put that on an album. He ain't going to it's like, all that is just for the people. Give it to the fans.
Yeah, 3-pack. So I'm going to say it again. It's the most missed out thing. It's quick. It's digestible. It's not like dropping a single because it goes into a project, allows you to get more streams. Also creates a lot of hype. We talk about
Singles.
Drake. We only talk about Drake on this channel, but it's just hard not to talk about the person who does it the fucking best and does it the right way. As these other artists like want to be Drake level or want to be great, and it's like they're not even doing like half of what they should be doing.
Drake gives the people what they want. Drake understands his community and gives it to them. Every of these other artists try to play fucking cosplay other artists. They try to sound like other artists. Like I just watched this Tyler the Creator thing, and he was like talking about all these like producers nowadays, all these artists. They all want to sound like each other. Back in the day, Pharrell didn't try to sound like Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre wasn't trying to sound like fucking the next person in line. Like it wasn't like that. In today's age, they're just, everyone just is like, ooh, that sounds nice. I'm going to put that on here. It's all just like a fucking, and they're just like cosplaying. I'm too cool for school.
Because they're trying to chase the sound that's hitting or that people like or that went viral instead of being like, bro, I'm just going to make music how I want to make music. Yeah. Drake definitely steals flows or like language or what am I saying?
Drake is inspired by these people.
He steals a little flow. He'll steal some slang, but he continues to be himself and develops himself and continues to change flows. So he's better and can give you guys different music. Like it's not the same shit over and over again.
Yeah, and it's also about Drake is an entertainer. When he's performing these songs, like you go to a rap concert, I say this all the time. Rappers are the worst performers. The worst performers.
Wow. What a fucking
worst performers.
What a fucking transition. I want to talk about the T-Pain concert at VCon. The next time T-Pain goes on tour, and if it's anywhere near me,
it's gonna be great.
I'm going.
Yeah, because T-Pain is an entertainer. Again, a guy like T-Pain has had residencies in Vegas. You can tell who is a good performer. If they've had a residency at Vegas, you are a good performer. It's plain and simple.
Yeah, it was electric.
Because this is my thing. Like, I watched a video, again, stop glazing Drake here, but I watched a video of Drake like playing with a live band, and you're like, man, no fucking rapper could do that today. None. Not Kendrick, not J. Cole. None of these guys could do it. Like, you go to these shows and they're just fucking rapping over their song playing behind them. Do you know how shitty that is? Imagine like you pay $500 to go see this fucking person, or $300 or $200, and they're just fucking rapping or letting the crowd sing back to them, I fucking hate it. Nothing bothers me more. Like, I get it. Like, at least Post Malone's like, hey, come. He doesn't even call it a concert. He's like, hey, come sing along with me. Like, at least Post Malone is like, yo, let's sing along. And again, Post is a pretty good performer. So it's like, to me, all these artists are just like, ooh, this sounds good in the headphones, sounds good in the car. It becomes the performance. It's god awful.
Shout out LaRussell as well for an incredible concert. We've never been, but what he puts out on social media, it looks like an electric concert.
And speak about LaRussell. If you don't know LaRussell, again, talk about a guy who drops music fucking constantly, right? Like, I'm not saying you have to be at that extreme, but fucking put out music. You can see that guy. He's selling out his own tour. He's got his own stage. He's making his own money. He's seeing 100% of everything, and I respect the fuck out of that. So it's like, yeah, shout out to LaRussell.
And if you made it this far, drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Until next time, we'll see you.
Peace.
I gotta stack out this gold. I tell you I'm on the road. About to get all this dough. Me and no fuck niggas know. I swear to God we the ghosts. This ain't the story they told. Man, if you know, then you know. I never had to tell my